So welcome. My name is Rosemary Capiello. Ro is my name I prefer to be called. This is September 30th, 2015, and we are doing meditations and energy practices for good psychic hygiene. Okay, so most of us that are on this webinar tonight know about grounding and getting centered, and hopefully we practice this even if it's a little bit, whether that's in our yoga classes or our Tai Chi classes or even just our regular exercise classes. We know when we're grounded in our body. We know when we're not. Ungrounded kind of feels like you're disconnected from yourself and from your body. I always know when I'm ungrounded because I have bumps and bruises all over that I have no idea how I got, meaning I walked into things and didn't even feel it at the time, and you know, I'm almost like disconnected or out of my body. The good news is when I'm very grounded, I feel every little thing that goes on in my body, every little everything. So it has its pluses and its minuses. So ungrounded usually is the first place we look when we are not feeling like our right self. That would be our first place. Now, say you say, I just don't feel like myself. I don't know, or all of a sudden something just dark came over me. A dark mood, a dark thought, a drop in my energy, too much energy, an excess energy. I don't feel like my right self. First thing you would do is check and make sure that you're grounded. And if you're not, you would get grounded. But what comes over, the next thing that you would want to check for is if you've been psychically junked up, meaning if you are in a space that has a lot of psychic debris, physical, mental, and emotional, from the people or occupants that have been there or through there, and you just like walked into it almost like a fog and sponged it up. Now, the Italians would say that we would start to yawn with this, okay? They also call that the Mauk, and somebody has overlooked you, and I'll go to that in a moment. But the first thing that we usually do, and the Chinese say this too in their space clearing, is when we walk into an energy-dense place, we will start to yawn or feel a fatigue come over us. Sometimes when the collective consciousness is going through a shift, we will attach to some of the things that the collective consciousness is trying to work out in the moment. And we especially do this if we've signed up for spirit service or we do healing work or things like that. And so when the collective is going through a shift, we may connect to that in because in our sense of holding the positivity or the ability to look above it or beyond it, then starts to break it for the collective. Okay, so say that there is a collective fear about terrorism. You have a little seed of that in you. It might not be full blown. You might not engage in fearing that all the time or go out and build a bunker or buy guns or things like that. But nonetheless, we all have that little bit inside of us. So say all of a sudden you become totally preoccupied with this thought or and worry. What might be happening is that you're connecting to the collective consciousness that is fearing or worrying about this, and it is exaggerating yours. The thing is, if you're able to be aware of yourself and to say, no, there's nothing to worry about. I'm going to move into faith and trust. I'm going to connect to my spirit team. They're going to help me with this. You then being able to do that starts to shift it for the collective that cannot or is not doing that. So this is the reasons why sometimes we will take on a thought, a feeling, a situation even that isn't ours. It's part of the collective so that we can hold the positivity in it.